Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome to this video, guys. My name is Liaquat. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. We're going through Mukhtasar al-Qudoori. If you like this video, you like this series, you like me, then make sure you hit the like, subscribe button and share the video with others as well. So let's continue with this, guys. All right, so let's check out the words then. So man aqarra, we've done this before, iqrar, to do iqrar. Khatam, it means a ring. And halaqa, it means the band of the ring. Fas, it means the stone of the ring. Wa in aqarra bisayf, sword, done this word before. Nasal is the blade. Wal jafan is the sheath. Hama'il is the thing that carries the sword. Wa in aqarra bi hajala, hajala is the I don't know what you call it, the tent that you put on top of a camel. Eidan is the wooden structure. Kiswa is the cloth. In qala lihamli, hamal is fetus. Fulana is so and so. Alf, thousand. Awsa, it means to make a bequest. Mata, to die. Waratha is to inherit. Iqrar is to do an iqrar. Sahih is someone who is healthy, not dying. And or in abhama is to make it abhama, to make it obscure, unclear. Iqrar la yasih, yasihu. Okay, let's move this down. And then he says وإن أقر بحمل, حمل is fetus. جارية, slave woman. حمل, fetus. شات, goat. إقرار, done that as well. Anything else? Duyun, debts. Lazimatu, to become necessary. Marad, it means illness, and here it means illness of death. Yeah, deathbed. Death, illness. Asbab, causes. And asbab, causes. Muqaddam, it means to be given precedence. To be given priority, precedence. فَإِذَا قُضِيَتْ فَضُلَ, to be left behind, left over. أقر بحال مرض. جاز إقرار وإن كان المقر له ورثة باطل. Okay. Right, so those words are all done. I don't really think we need to go too much into too many words. Let's do some vowels now. ومن أقر فعل فاعل لغيره بخاتم فله is خبر مقدم. الحلقة مبتدا مؤخر. والفص is عطف. وإن أقر بسيف فله النصل مبتدا مؤخر. جفن والحمائل. وإن أقر بحجلة فله الإيدان والكسوة. وإن قال لحمل فلانة علي ألف is مبتدا مؤخر. فإن قال أوصى له فلان, this is the fa'il of أوصى. مات أبوه, فاعل مات. ورثه فلإقرار, فالإقرار, it's supposed to be فالإقرار, فالإقرار, it's not فللإقرار, فالإقرار صحيح. وإن أبهم الإقرار لم يصح. Okay, it's supposed to be لم يصح. عند أبي يوسف, the غير منصرف. وقال محمد يصح. وإن أقر بحمل جارية أو حمل شاة لرجل صح الإقرار فاعل. ولازمه وإذا أقر الرجل. Okay, so أقر الرجل في مرض موته بديون جار مجرور. وعليه ديون مبتدا مؤخر. خبر مقدم. في صحته وديون لازمته, this is عطف on to ديون. لازمته is the صفة of ديون. في مرضه بأسباب معلومة. فدين الصحة مبتدأ. والدين المعروف بالأسباب مقدم خبر. وإذا قضيت ففضل شيء منها كان فيما أقر في حال المرض وإن لم يكن عليه ديون is the اسم of يكن لزمته في صحته جاز إقراره فاعل أو جاز وكان المقر له أولى من الورثة and then وإقرار مبتدأ المريض لوارثه باطل خبر إلا أن يصدقه فيه بقية الورثة فاعل. Okay, so let's have a look at these masail now. So these masail should be straightforward. These are all considered to be iqrar masail. Okay, so when the iqrar masail, we know what's going to happen. There's going to be basically a guy who is admitting or confessing that he owes something, testifying that he owes something, and how does that work? So let's say, for example, there is this guy. This guy says that this ring, so let's say, for example, do this big ring. It's got a nice stone on the top of it. He says, أقر لغيره بخاتم. So he said that this individual this ring is for him. I am giving this ring to him. When he says ring, what does that include? Does it include the stone and the band? It's called the band. He says yes. Includes the stone and the band. So man aqarra, whoever does iqrar لغيره. So whoever does iqrar لغيره, someone else, فَلَهُ الْحَلَقَةُ. So this guy deserves the halaqa, the band, and the fuss, and the stone. Okay, next. What if the person was to say that I owe you this sword? So a sword, alright, sword, it comes with the blade, and it comes with a sheath. Okay, so the sheath is the thing that you cover it in, and it comes with like some sort of a handle thing that you strap that you attach onto it. Yeah, the hama'il. So how does this work then? So this guy now has said that I owe this sword for so and so. It's for him. So which parts are going to be counted out of all this? So he says that in aqarra lahu bisayfin, if he was to do iqrar for him, meaning he did iqrar for him of a sword, falahu nasl, he deserves the nasl, the blade, wal jafan, and the jafan, the cover, wal hama'il, and the thing that you wrap it around or you hold it onto yourself, attach it to yourself, the strap. Okay, what if, however, he was to say that I owe so and so the hajala? So hajala, I don't know if you've ever seen, but if you've ever seen a camel, so imagine this is, okay, this is supposed to be a camel. So on top of the camel there is this thing, right? It's like it's for ladies sitting there. It's like that. And then it has this kind of like wooden shape around it. So let's say, for example, I don't know how they exactly design it, but and then you have around all of that, you have this sort of like covering it, like a cloth covering it. So if a guy, this is called the hajala. All of this is called the hajala, right? They call all this the hajala. All right, the hajala. So, what in aqarra bi hajalatin, if this guy says that I owe you a hajala, falahul idan, idan means wood, and wal kiswa, and the cloth that's wrapped around it. Right, both. Again, the whole point of this is trying to understand in our days today, if we were to say I owe you a computer, what would come with the computer? Would the keyboard come with it, and the mouse, and the wires that you use to attach? And if you say I owe you a car, would the interior seats come with it? Will the spare tire come with it? What would come with it? So that's basically what he's trying to understand here, is when we say these iqrars, what comes automatically included in the statement. Okay, next. This is a bit of a strange masala. Okay, remember sometimes in fiqh they come out with some really strange masail. This is one of those strange masail. So if there's a lady, so let's say, for example, this is a lady. This lady is pregnant, right? So she's got inside of her belly, she's got a baby. That's supposed to be a baby there. Okay, it looks a bit like a voodoo doll. But imagine that's a baby inside, fetus. Just in case none of you guys know. All right, fetus. So this man comes along, all right, and he says, I owe 1,000 to the fetus. Fetus hasn't even been born yet. How impossible can you owe a fetus that hasn't even been born yet 1,000? How is it possible? So we need to know what the cause of this 1,000 is. If the cause of the 1,000, the reason why you owe the 1,000 is not valid, then this iqrar is invalid. We call this cause the asbab, the sabab. What are the asbab, the sabab of this? What's the sabab of this? So if the sabab of this is, for example, someone else, let's say for instance, let's say someone else actually said they had left it, this 1,000 was left from them for this child as a wasiyah, as a bequest, yeah, as a bequest, or this is part of inheritance, wiratha. So wasiyah or wiratha, and then this guy died, and this guy is basically the executor. He's carrying out this. He's just passing it on. Then that would be considered to be a valid iqrar. Otherwise, it's not going to be valid. If the guy says, "This is 1,000 that I bought, that I owe the fetus because of the car that I bought from him," then come on, yar, you're not going to owe a fetus that, yeah. So, وَإِن قال, and if he said لِحَمْلِ فُلَانَةٍ, for the fetus of so and so lady, عَلَيَّ أَلْفٌ, I owe 1,000. فَإِن قَالَ أَوْصَى لَهُ فُلَانٍ, if he said so and so had done wasiyah, right? So and so had done wasiyah of this. أو مات أبوه فورثه, or his dad died, the fetus dad had died before he was conceived, when he was conceived. فَالْإِقْرَارُ صَحِيحٌ, this iqrar will be considered to be a valid iqrar. Right? So this is a valid iqrar because the sabab is correct. Once the sabab is correct, then it is correct. Okay, however, if the person was to leave it obscure, right? So if he says, I don't know why I owe him 1,000, right? Then that 1,000 would not be valid. All right, so وَإِنْ أَبْهَمَ الْإِقْرَارَ لَمْ يَصِحْ in the Abi Yusuf, the iqrar would not be valid. وَقَالَ مُحَمَّدٌ يَصِحُ وَإِنْ أَقَرَّ يَصِحُ. So in other words, here there's an ikhtilaf between Imam Abu Yusuf, he says it will not be allowed, and Imam Muhammad says it will be allowed. In other words, if he didn't mention the sabab, then it would not be allowed. And Muhammad says no, it still will be allowed. Right? So there's an ikhtilaf between them on this issue. Okay. What does Abu Hanifa say? So Abu Hanifa's opinion is not mentioned over here. Next mas'ala. Let's look at the next one then. All right. So let me just try to get some more space here. Just a good thing about technology, guys. You can zoom out, zoom in, edit. Okay. وَإِنْ أَقَرَّ بِحَمْلِ جَارِيَةٍ. So now another mas'ala. Let's say, for example, this guy, he's got a cow. So it's supposed to be a cow. Moo. And the cow's got a fetus. Or he's got a slave woman. And the slave woman's got a fetus. And this guy has claimed that so-and-so, he says, I owe so-and-so the fetus. It's for him. The fetus of this animal and this woman belongs to him. Will that be valid? The fetus hasn't been born yet, but will it be valid to give a fetus? Now, normally, if you remember in bayt, we said in transactions, you can't separate something which cannot be sold separately. But over here, you can do it, right? So, in aqarra, if he does iqrar, this guy, he does iqrar of the fetus, of a jari, of a slave woman. Oh, hamli shatin, I added a cow, but it's a goat. Lirajulin, for another man. Sahal iqraru, the iqrar will be valid. Walazimahu, and this thing, whatever he said, will be necessary. So when the fetus is born, he'll have to hand it over to him. Okay, does that make sense? Right, next. Hope I'm making sense to you guys. إذا أقر الرجل في مرض. Now this section is to do with marad al-maut, right? So let's say, for example, there's a guy. This guy, imagine this is his timeline. All right, this is his timeline. So the doctor has told him, so this is when he was born, and this is when he's gonna die. And the doctor has actually told him, right, my friend, you are gonna die now. Right? So doctor says to him, you're going to die, time's up. Call it time up. So in this period of time, when the doctor's told him he's gonna die, right, this is known as marad al-maut. Right? So in this period of time, can he make an iqrar? Can he do a new iqrar? So we have to look at this situation then. If he has in the past, in this time period of time from here all the way up to here, if he has already got from before debts that he owes people, debts, number one, he owes debts to people. And number two, in the marad al-maut, he had also, number two, in the marad al-maut, he had also incurred some debts. And number three, now he's actually saying, I owe blah, 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 so and so. Yeah. So these are the ones that we're talking about. Will this be valid? So these ones are valid, right? Because those are already done in the past. But now this new one that he's claiming, will that be considered to be valid or not? So he says, إذا أقر الرجل, so when a man, he does إقرار, في مرض موته, in the time of his illness of death, بديون, for debts, he's saying I owe debts. وعليه ديون في صحته, and upon him are debts in when he was healthy in that period of time. وَدُيُونٌ لَزِمَتْهُ فِي مَرَضِهِ, and debts that were necessary upon him in his marad. But these debts have an asbab ma'luma. Everyone knows why he owes this money. Like for example, let's say, I don't know, he owes this money because I don't know, let's say he owes this money because he bought a car from someone, or he's got bills to pay, etc. So these are what we call asbab ma'luma. So as long as the asbab are ma'luma, فَدَيْنُ الصِّحَّةِ وَدَيْنُ الْمَعْرُوفِ بِالْأَسْبَابِ, so the dain of the siha, this one, and this one, asbab, muqaddamun, will be given priority when he dies. So when he dies, these are going to be paid off first. And once these are paid off, then we're going to go to category number 3. So let's say, for example, he has, I don't know, £10,000, 10k. And he owes, the debts that he owes here is, let's say 5k he owes there, 5k he owes there, and he claims that he owes 2k here. Now you pay off these. Once these are paid off, if there's anything left, then you go to this one. But if there's nothing left, you don't go to it. Does that make sense? So this is why it says, فَإِذَا قُضِيَتْ, so when these are paid off, right? So when these are paid off, وَفَضُلَ شَيْء, and something is left, anything is left, minha, كَانَ فِي مَا أَقَرَّ, that will be for whatever he had done إقرار of, في حال المرض, in the state of his death, right? In that time of death, that time. Right, this is if there is anything left, and in this case, obviously there isn't. But let's say, for example, let's change this number. Let's say there was, I don't know, 15k that he had, and 5, and then 2. That's 5 left. So there's obviously 5 left over, and 2 can easily be taken off that. Now, what if he didn't have any debts? Yeah, so he didn't have anything at all. So, for instance, I don't know. Let's say he didn't have any of these at all, none of these debts at all. Then what would happen? So if he says that وَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ عَلَيْهِ دُيُونٌ, if he has no debts at all, لَزِمَتُ فِي صِحَّةِ, that were necessary upon him in his siha, جَازَ إِقْرَارُ, his iqrar would be valid. وَكَانَ الْمُقَرُّ, and the muqarr, this guy over here, that he's claiming that he owes, lahu awla, is more prioritized than the heirs even of that money. So the heirs, that money, when it's going to be shared amongst the heirs, so let's say, for example, let's do over here. So this is the guy that he claims that he owes. And call him the meme for muqarr lahu. And these are the guys who are the heirs. Yeah, heirs. So we're going to call him number 1, number 2, number 3. So let's say, for example, they are £10,000, and he owes this guy, let's say, claims he owes him 5,000. So take 5,000 out of 10, and then whatever's left, you're going to divide it between the heirs now. Yeah, so 5k is going to go to them. But priority is going to be given to him. That's the idea. أولى من الورثة. Okay, and the last masla, وإقرار المريض لوارثه باطل إلا أن يصدقه فيه بقية الورثة. The iqrar of an ill person, so if there's a person who's ill, and he says, one of my heirs, I owe one of my heirs money. So let me draw it over here. Yeah, so let's say there's a guy, and he's dying, and he has some heirs. So let's say he's got 3 heirs, 3 sons, let's say. And he says, oh, I owe one of my sons, I owe him 5k. Yeah, I owe him 5k. So now, can he give that 5k to him? So he can give it if these two say, yes, we believe him, that he does owe him. Then you can give. Otherwise, if these two don't believe, then you don't give him the 5k. So iqrar of the marid, the iqrar, the testimony of an ill person, marad al-maut, liwarithihi, for his heir, batil, is not allowed, unless the other two were to believe him. Khalas. Masla is done. Does that make sense, guys? Did you like today's lesson or did you not like it? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so let's have a look at this then. So he says, what are some questions for you guys now? Can a person, if a person does an iqrar of a ring, what parts of the ring fall under the iqrar? So the stone and the band. If a person does an iqrar of a sword, what parts of the sword fall under the iqrar? Yeah, the blade, the strap, and the cover. Person does an iqrar of a hajala, that thing that you put on top of a camel, the wooden structure and the cloth. If a person does iqrar that he owes a fetus £1,000, he either knows the cause for why he owes it or he doesn't. So if he knows the cause, will it be allowed? So we say yes, it will be allowed. Like wasiya and waratha. If he doesn't know the cause, Abu Yusuf says not allowed, Muhammad said it's allowed. Okay, if a man makes an iqrar that he owes a fetus to someone, will that be allowed? So we say yes, that will be allowed. Okay, if a man is about to die and he's got debts from before and he now says, I owe someone money, will that new iqrar be valid? Yes, only after the others have been paid off. If a man makes an iqrar for someone and he doesn't have any prior debts, then that individual will be given priority. And if a man is dying and he makes an iqrar for his own heir, will that heir get that money? So we said that only if the others agree upon it and accept it. Jazakumullah khair, guys, for watching this video. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. Thank you very much for supporting my channel, guys. It means a lot to me. If any of you guys want to support my channel like my beautiful patrons do, please check out the description below. Contact me, and that's it, guys. I will see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.